So solving quadratic equations. By the quadratic formula. So if we have a quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and I cannot factor it, and I cannot use the square root property, then what I would use is the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula calculates my two answers using the standard form, so written out as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. It's going to use the coefficients a, b, and c. So if we have the standard form, then x equals, so here's the formula, it's going to be a big fraction, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2 times a. So by plugging in a, b, and c, the coefficients, I can calculate what x is. So, for example, if I have that I want to solve x squared plus 7x equals 3. Okay, so first off, it's not in standard form yet. So first, I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides so that I have this equal to 0. Now, I'm going to list out my a is 1, b is 7, and c is negative 3. And c is negative 3. So if I take that formula and I start plugging my numbers in, so I've got negative b, so negative 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 49, 7 times 7, 49, minus 4 times 1 times negative 3, 4ac, over 2 times a, 2 times 1. So negative 7 plus or minus. Let's see, I'm just going to write out the bottom is 2. Now inside the parentheses, so I already did 7 squared is 49. If I do 4 times 1 times negative 3, so that's going to be negative 12. Sometimes too it helps just kind of jot over to the side the work under the square root. So that's going to become a plus 12. So square root of, that's going to be 61. So the square root of 61. Now, can't really simplify much more right here. So let's actually do the square root of 61, get an approximation. Square root of 61 is about 7.81 over 2. So this is two different answers, that plus or minus. This means negative 7 plus 7.81 divided by 2, and negative 7 minus 7.81, all divided by 2. So when I calculate that, if you're going to put this all in one step in your calculator, you can do so. Just make sure you would have to do parentheses on top in the numerator so that it does the negative 7 plus 7.81 before dividing that whole thing by 2. So for my addition problem, I'll have 0.41, and for the subtraction, negative 7 minus 7.81 divided by 2, negative 7.41. So those are the two values that x can be. If I plug it back into the original equation, 0.41 squared plus 7 times 0.41, I should get about 3. If I do the same thing with negative 4.1, negative 7.41. Negative 7.41 squared plus 7 times negative 7.41 should be approximately 3. Okay, so those are my two answers. Okay, let's do one more. So with this one, we are going to solve, we're going to solve x squared minus 8x minus 9 equals 0. So this one's already set up nice for us. A is 1, B is -8 and C is -9. So back to my formula. X is -b. So I have -8 plus or minus square root of b squared, -8 squared, minus 4 times a times c. So -4 times 1 times -9 over 2 times 1. So this one, when b is negative, be careful of the signs. Negative, negative, that's going to go back to +8. Plus or minus, inside the parentheses, -8 squared, that's a +64. -4 times 1 times -9, that's going to be a +36. So that's the square root of 100 over 2. So 8 plus or minus square root of 100 is 10 over 2. And it's always best, write it out separately. 8 plus 10 divided by 2, 8 minus 10 divided by 2. So 8 plus 10, 18 divided by 2 is 9. 8 minus 10 is -2 divided by 2 is -1. So x is 9 and -1. So notice this one came out to nice answers instead of having to use our calculator to do a square root that doesn't come out. What I could have actually done with this problem, let's switch this up. Let me go back to the start. X squared minus 8x minus 9 is 0. I could have actually factored this one. If I did 1 times 9 minus and plus minus 9 and plus 1. If I factor that out, I'd get back to x squared minus 8x minus 9. So by factoring, my answers would be -1 and 9. Same thing, just different strategy. So actually factoring would have been a little quicker. But when this is one that I could have factored, that square root part's going to come out nice. So I can simplify this. But either way, if I didn't notice, I still get the same answer using the quadratic formula.